My performance style currently is all about transforming my own studio productions and collaborations with others into live performances. Turntablist culture, I think, is a real love for manipulating recorded material using decks and creating something new out of something that's already been recorded. So you can literally make whatever you want and perform it and manipulate it live using equipment that was originally just meant for listening to music on. I'm just using 2 turntables. On the right-hand side, I've got the drums and essentially a basic instrumental. On this side, I've got the lead melody. It's like a plucking synthesizer sound. And I've got a hi-hat loop set up with a hot cue here. That's on deck 4. I'm then going to use the new dual deck mode by moving the instrumental onto deck 3. And by using dual deck, I can control deck 1 and deck 3 simultaneously using the pads and using the vinyl as well. If I hit cue point on here, I'm getting the drums from deck 3 and the melody from deck 1, this turntable here. I'm going to cue up my instrumental first. I'm going to mix in the melody. So 2 channels mixed together. Next, I'm going to bring in deck 4 hi-hat layer. Okay, so now we've got 3 decks going on. Now I'm going to set up the deck move. This is now on the internal. This is now dual deck. I'm controlling both the backing track, in this instance, that's just drum 1 shots, and also the lead melody. So when I hit cue point 1, for example, that's cueing cue point 1 on both the melody and the drums simultaneously. So
I used deck 4 to play a loop layer for my introduction into the routine. So I have it here loaded up on deck 4, and as you can see, I press play. DJ Puffy. And it says my name, and I don't have to trigger that or anything. It's already pre-recorded and pre-programmed to my routine. I use that, implement it to layer the beat underneath it. So that sounds like this. 1, 2, 3, here we go. So now deck 4 and deck 2 will be playing at the same time.
So the smooth echo allows you to add a delay or an echo to your scratching, something that I would normally do with a foot pedal. This takes it and puts it right here at your fingertips. And if I hit this little button, after a little short amount of time, which you can set in here, the echo will turn itself on.
Or I can assign it to either the faders or a pad, which then frees up the effects paddle for other effects.
some of the other ways you can use smooth echo are with the crossfader. So it reacts as the crossfader turns on and off. So it frees up your hands, so you could have like a chorus or something like that on here and maintain having an echo on the crossfader.
It's been amazing to see the technology change. We were getting by with the materials we had. You know, once everything went digital and once you're able to do it with a computer, and you can chop things and you can manipulate things on the fly.
Z-Trip, Z-Trip, break it down, break it down.
Gate cue is something that hasn't been available on any other mixer. If I hit the cue point, it plays the whole thing. If you double tap hot cue, it takes you to gate cue and allows you to play the sample, but only when your finger's touching the pads. You want these single hit shots. Now I can actually go in and really dissect parts and play with it a little bit. Skratch Bank is really dope because it allows me to have all my scratches ready to go. So at any moment, if I want to cut or scratch, it's boom, load, there it is, it's immediate.
You can load each individual track in the Skratch Banks and have your entire routine pre-programmed in the Skratch Banks as opposed to using a crate.
And I can also set what cue points I want them to start from. So as soon as I press a pad, it will go immediately to that cue point. For example,
The incredible
Kayper.
I could break it down.
I'm going to be combining using this new Skratch bank that I've loaded in with the new touch effect setting. I'm actually using one of the stock presets. You can make loads of customized ones as well. On the x-axis, it's a echo effect, and on the y-axis, it's a filter effect. I'm going to be doing like finger drumming and scratching with my melodies that I've got on the key points here, and at various points, either touching a part of the grid to get a very specific effect, or moving my finger across the y-axis to open and close that filter.
Again, there's something I was doing with the beat where if I load up touch effects, I can hold the effect there, and then I'd let go of the effect, it's still echoing. Then I can come in with a wash and bring the beat back. So you can combine different effects, echoes, delays, basically any of your hardware effects, and there's settings where you can actually dissect it a little bit more than just a built-in, here's your one mode. Fader pitch is one of those things where, again, you have your sounds in your cue points, and as soon as you turn on the fader pitch, I have it pitched down 2. While the fader's up, you can hear it at full, and if you bring the fader down, it starts to slow the pitch of the sound down.
Break it down.
I'm making use of the new combo mode. You can choose 2 of the various pad modes and split them across the 2 layers of pads here. I'm going to select roll first, and then sampler second. That means roll is now on my top layer, sampler is on the bottom layer. So I've got the roll there, but I can also trigger my one-shots underneath. So I've got some lasers and stuff. Use the filter at the same time. So in fact, you can have 4 different layers. If I was to do it on here as well, maybe I went for save loop and sample or something like that, I could access loads of different stuff at once.
All the hardware effects are off to the left, the software effects are off to the right, and you can combine them. There's a lot to it. It's pretty powerful.
You can create a really deep, colorful layer of all these various effects. For this particular bit, I'm just using the beat effect and a delay from the software effect. So we're getting the pitch down, which comes from the channel fader, and then the echo coming from the Serato software effect.
The S11 definitely allows me to do things quicker. And I will say that that would be a major way that my performance will change.
It gives me like the third hand that I didn't have. I can access everything at my fingertips.
The integration of Serato and the mixer working together is going to give me more tools and giving me the ability to go further. I can imagine what other DJs are going to do once they get their hands on this thing.